Hello, we hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the first esports news episode in a long time. We hope you guys all enjoy. It's going to be a very packed episode, so feel free to look down below. As always, there will be timestamps in the description, but we hope you guys all enjoy. The roster mania for several scenes out there have actually started, and as always, let's get into it. And first off, of course, in big news, guys, we have now entered, of course, the first day of the Faceit Major. I cannot wait to watch these matches all day long, and you can now do so on Steam TV. If you guys were first here around the Dota 2 International time, it was actually the kind of the prelude to Steam TV. They had a few issues throughout the Dota 2 International, but now for the CSGO Major as well for Faceit, it's also introduced there, and so far, viewership has been amazing for that. So if you guys want to hop on over, I will link the steam.tv/CSGO link for all of you guys down below. And as of right now, for the first few matches, the viewership seems to be doing very well, and Steam TV is having very few issues out there. So a brand new way to also watch your CSGO majors, and I cannot wait to see what this actually does for the viewership numbers. Now, for all of you guys who have been watching the first few matches, as well as have been hearing rumors out there kind of leading up to the major itself, some of them which are true, the first of which probably most effectively, if you guys did choose Space Soldiers to go 0-3, you're probably looking quite confident. Apparently, it was actually Engine, one of their players, who ran into some visa issues, and it will be their coach, Hardstyles, actually in his place. Now, after their first match this morning against Team Rogue, it was very apparent that their coach, Hardstyles, has not played too much CSGO, and it was also confirmed by several tweets out there. Well, he doesn't even play CSGO for fun. Yes, he's a coach. He's not like a few coaches you guys probably know the names of who can actually really play CSGO to a decent level, and it was quite tough to see. So I really do feel bad for that team, and on top of that, the visa issues for Engine were not their fault. They applied for express visas. They did everything they could, and unfortunately enough for the Turkish player, he could not go to the major. So for all of you guys who chose Space Soldiers to go 0-3, it's looking quite solid so far, but all you Virtus Pro fans out there, or all you Virtus Pro haters who also chose them to go 0-3, it's also looking quite clear that they are not the team they used to be. Of course, newest members going into this being Snatchy, they lost Snacks, they lost Taz a bit longer ago, and now the rumors that Bialy will be leaving the team after the major, and rumors do continue because apparently Pasha Biceps could be the next guy to go. If you guys saw the interview with Betway, he did come out several times and say he has thought many times about actually leaving the team after this major, and this could be his last CSGO major. So those two picks right there, Space Soldiers, Virtus Pro, looking pretty solid picks so far for 0-3. I myself chose Vegas Squadron, but so far the Faceit Major has brought a lot of changes, a lot of crazy things going to happen throughout the next few weeks, and I cannot wait to watch. But in other news out there, we also had Tempo Storm disband earlier this week. It was also Fox who left that team, one of the last remaining members. If you guys remember the history of this Tempo Storm roster, it's been a really big struggle. Also a team who was up and coming, had quite the potential when HS and Fox first started the team. They then lost to Cillian and Lowell, but they were then trialing 3 French players. It was going to be Happy, RPK, and Zaiwu possibly joining the team, or at least 2 of them, and that fell through. You guys know the French team with those 3 members plus 2 others, that being of course the G2 guys, apparently going to make their own roster, and they of course trial with Tempo Storm though for 1 to 2 months. It was a long period of time where it was 4 to 6 weeks where it was going to be Happy and RPK, then it was going to be Happy and Zaiwu joining that team, and it seemed that offers or negotiations did fall through, and that Tempo Storm roster is now pretty much disbanded. On top of that, guys, Fox has also now joined a brand new Portuguese team alongside Muterus, returning to a brand new team for Giants. So maybe going to be an uprising team out there in the Portuguese scene to compete with maybe Mixwell's team Movistar Riders, and they probably will play each other every once in a while because they kind of are considered a similar tier team. But a lot of disbandment news out there coming as well, because apparently Flipside Tactics has also disbanded. As of right now, guys, it's Markolov and Waylander, I believe, the only 2 remaining members on that team. They have now officially named themselves Orgless CSGO on their ESCA roster, so not really sure the future of that team. Of course, they got rid of Lollipop, they got rid of World Edit, they got rid of a lot of guys these past few months, and unfortunately did not actually manage to qualify for this Faceit Major. The org has gone downhill, and it's very sad to see a long team who's actually gone to CSGO Majors for 7 to 8 years straight, and now all of a sudden they are now dead in the water. And by 7 to 8 years, I mean 7 to 8 majors in a row, which is an insane streak to see. They never really made their mark at a major, but it's always disappointing to see a long-term team like that unfortunately disband, or so it seems. On top of that, guys, also in some closing news out there, we actually have OpTic Gaming pitching themselves and actually knocking themselves out of North American Pro League. As of right now, it does seem ESL has come out and say they're going to be announcing a brand new North American team because OpTic requested to be moved from North America to the European side, which I do respect. Of course, it should be done though, because apparently those guys will be living in a European location and therefore should not compete in North American Pro League. And you guys know very well that this European team, even though OpTic Gaming is not looking too hot as of late, is definitely a strong competitor for North American teams teams out there, given, I guess, the level of talent on those rosters. So apparently OpTic Gaming have requested themselves to be moved from a different side of Pro League, which I do respect, and I cannot wait to see which team will actually be named in their place. Probably a Mountain Dew League team, probably a relegation team as well. It will be one of those two, and I cannot wait to see which team is actually chosen. It should probably be the third place relegation team, but there's really no guarantees here, but it should be announced very shortly, as we do approach very shortly here as well the next season of ESL Pro League. Now also, I know we have so much CSGO news. We have tons of news out there for every esport today. It's been kind of a crazy weekend as well. Very last, we do have a brand new collection of Nuke souvenir skins. These collections can be actually achieved as drops, so if you guys go to either Twitch or Steam.tv, I would suggest Steam.tv, because all you guys have to do is actually log into your Steam account and you can get these drops into your account. It's a brand new Nuke collection, guys, brand new skins, and I would expect this package to also be pretty much probably one of the highest priced packages so far because of these new skins. It'll be very cool to see how far this price does go, but that was it for CSGO news. Just a packed episode so far, and I expect Friday to be nonetheless even more packed. We have so much going on with the Faceit Major, guys, so many changes, so many upsets. Watch the Faceit Major, and Steam.tv is the new way to do it. And continuing the roster mania, guys, before we get in, I just want to warn you guys, Overwatch section, there have been so many roster changes, but Dota 2 as well, kind of in the similar way out there. Overwatch kind of following their competitive season, and now, of course, we have Dota 2, the international, just concluding some big changes coming in. The first of which, we're going to actually answer some rumors in the upcoming weeks as we do finalize more of these rumors, and these changes do happen. It does seem that OpTic Gaming rumor out there, they will be disbanding, and it'll be CCNC who did confirm that. Allegedly, it's only via Steam messages, could be a troll, but it does seem quite likely he's going to try and mid somewhere else. Now the topic of debate is out there is really, can he mid for a tier 1 team? Who can he really mid for? But it does seem CCNC is going to leave that OpTic Gaming roster, which almost does confirm their disbandment. And the real question I have going forward is, where can a guy like PPD go? There are many rumors out there, and exactly where he'll go, hopefully you're going to answer in the coming weeks. On top of that, we also have TNC just this morning releasing both Raven and Sam H from the roster. It does seem the rest of the roster will stay with TNC, but that was very unfortunate to see. But in some more fortunate news, we also had Dendy coming out. If you guys did watch TI8, he was one of the talent there who actually was a part of those skits, and it was actually very funny to see him on camera do quite well alongside people out there. And he actually confirmed he will not be retiring, so who knows who he'll be playing for, but he will stay in the game. And again, I cannot wait to see. There's going to be so many shuffles going on here. And speaking of Navi members, we actually have ex-Navi member Little. It does seem Little is going to make his own team known as Team Odium. Now, I have no clue why he would choose that name, but it does seem kind of funny. We're going to see if it does come together. It does seem they've announced a couple of players, including people like General, to this roster. Will it be a tier 1 roster? Likely not, but it will be a fun roster to watch and see if they can actually make a comeback. It certainly will. And also, very lastly, hopefully we didn't miss anything, and if we did, we'll pick it up back on Friday, guys. Virtus Pro also part ways with Artstyle, their coach. It does seem, according to rumors out there, Virtus Pro will remain with this current roster, and they will probably, of course, acquire a new coach out there, but it does seem Artstyle has now parted ways with the team, and that was the last of changes for now, but again, probably more coming by Friday. And of course, in Fortnite news, guys, Skirmish Series has now concluded. And again, I talked about this last episode. The big question is going to be, can they continue with these large prize pools? Of course, over 8 weeks, $8 million given out. And then again, with the production costs as well, they spent easily $10 million, if not way more than that on production. All in all, for Epic Games here. Can they actually make money with these? The viewer counts and the games themselves were amazing. Of course, week 1 and week 2 had their issues. But again, throughout the last few weeks here, I really did enjoy watching. And PAX West overall did a pretty good job entertainment-wise with this new series here. It was pretty much a brand new format with this point system on screen. It was very cool to see some little guys actually come through. If you guys did not actually watch it, it was $1.5 million in total, and it was actually done in 3 stages. Each stage actually welcomed 33 players to the grand finals, and again, at the very end, these grand finals, over the course of, I believe it was actually 8 matches, they acquired these points to actually name our winner, which was actually Morgoth TV. So, of course, not a well-known name out there. I'm going to show you guys his reaction to winning $225,000, some life-changing money, and on top of that, he also won an additional $25,000 because he won one of those grand final matches. So he comes away after 1 weekend of playing Fortnite. This kid is now $250,000 richer, and here was his reaction.
Is that our winner right there?
You might be looking at.
Is that our winner? I believe that is our winner on our screen.
$225,000.
A life-changing amount of money.
It's going to take him a bit to process exactly what he's seeing on the screen.
That is what we call shock, people.
Oh, yeah.
Plus the victory earlier. Remember the victory royale, another 25 grand.
And that's just amazing to see. Fortnite obviously changing lives out there, but again, I cannot iterate it enough. I hope they can keep this up. Of course, we were promised $100 million throughout the end of 2018 and, of course, 2019. But I really am curious, by the end of all this, if they've actually made money themselves. There's a lot of talk out there. Is the game dying? Is the game leveling off? I really don't want to get into that in this episode, but I do want to shout out as well some of the most consistent players we saw throughout the entire Skirmish Series weeks out there. I have to say Nate Hill, one of them. I think 3 top 5s for himself, another top 10, as well as a victory. But also, most importantly, I think the overall winner of this skirmish has to be, if not Vivid, who was not here this last week, it probably has to be Poach himself. I believe 4 top 5s, 1 top 10, also a win under his belt. Definitely by far and away, in my own opinion, the most consistent Fortnite player we saw throughout the entire thing. He also came away with about 135 grand in his pocket throughout this weekend. And again, shouts to those guys. I think Nate Hill and Poach, definitely some of your more consistent players out there, and just really, really fun to watch them always be up there and competing. It's amazing to see that kind of consistency at this level of Fortnite throughout all the different game modes, solos, duos, whatever it might be for the game modes. Those guys always seem to be huge competitors. But also, very lastly, for all of you guys who are here for V5.4, it should be coming by tomorrow. So apparently it was delayed out there for probably some good issues, but we could expect still grappling hooks, as well as some going to be some item rarity changes, so some smaller changes out there besides, of course, the grappling hooks. Expect that tomorrow, guys, and of course we'll be here Friday to talk about that and hopefully have some clips to show you guys. So, but again, I cannot thank Epic enough, doing a great job. I cannot wait to see what is next for these guys. Will they do a pro league? Will they do a team league, where teams have to send duos or full squads to events? It's very curious. I'm very, very curious to see where these guys go in the future, because there are a lot of hopes out there for the Fortnite esports scene, and will it continue? I guess we're going to find out. And in big news for League of Legends, if you guys were here for last episode and the one before that, of course, we do predict the playoffs going on this weekend. I will predict those on Friday, but I do want to, of course, clarify what did happen this past weekend. Of course, we couldn't do so on Monday. It was a holiday, but we improved our record. In the quarterfinals, we went 1-3, made some ballsy choices. For the semifinals, we went 2-2, and I do expect for the grand finals, maybe we'll go 2-0. We'll get them both right, but some crazy things did happen. I do quickly want to clarify, we did take Cloud9 over TSM. It went to Game 5, an amazing series to watch. Definitely 2 teams going back and forth. Cloud9, I think, still your better team. Will they have a chance against Liquid, though? That's probably the real question here. I did take 100 Thieves over Liquid. Unfortunately, got that one wrong. I made sure to note, though, last week, that was a ballsy choice. Liquid by far and away your favorite, and that's going to make predicting this grand final, really hard. I'm going to stick with the hype train, though. I'm a Cloud9 fan. I think Liquid is probably still your better team in a best of 5. I think Cloud9, again, they showed themselves in match 4 and 5, bringing in Sven and Golden Glue. They can still switch it up on random and really throw off these teams here. I think Cloud9 do take at least 1 map, maybe 2 maps off them, but I'm going for the record here, guys. I'm going to try and go for 2-0. I will take Okay, I'll go for the upset. I'll take Cloud9 over Team Liquid, but all I hope for is a Game 5. Also, on top of that, to my surprise, I did take Vitality over Schalke. It did not go my way. Schalke convincingly beat Vitality. Unfortunately enough, Vitality had a strong last half of the split. It wasn't good enough, and again, I will repeat myself. I think Schalke really struggled, but they really picked it up here in the playoffs, maybe really trying to earn those Worlds point themselves, and they will go up against, unfortunately for themselves, Fnatic, who took down Misfits. Probably the most convincing series of the entire playoffs we've seen so far. Fnatic looking very good. Reckless still back in that permanent lineup, and I will take Fnatic easily over Schalke in the finals. So I'm going to take Cloud9 over TSM. I'm going to take Fnatic as well over Schalke. I think that probably should be an easy series for them. We're going to try and go 2-0, and again, if we can go 1-3 quarterfinals, 2-2 semifinals, and 2-0 for the grand finals, I'll be very happy with that. But also, very lastly, some Riot news out there. We might touch on this more on Friday, but I'm very curious what you guys think about this, as some news did come out. Of course, you guys, if you've been following Riot so far and their sexual harassment claims, the struggle in their culture and their workplace out there, there were some tweets as well made by Riot representatives at a PAX West panel. They were doing some recruitment events, and on top of that, helping women along with non-binaries. They did make sure to clarify that, and these tweets, as of me recording this, are actually still live as well, facing a lot of backlash because apparently one of these panels was actually offering advice, critiques, resume help as well to females and non-binaries for a set amount of time. Males were actually not allowed into the room until 2:30, and after that 30 minutes of time they were actually allowed into, on that schedule, it actually led to quiet time. So once males were actually let into the room or allowed into the room, they had 30 minutes to apparently talk and actually get that same advice. The girls, the females and non-binaries, had several hours to actually acquire, and there was a lot of backlash because of it. Now, I do want to say I understand what they were going for. It does seem Riot is going in the right direction, but it seems not only are they maybe trying a bit too hard, but it is rubbing off in the wrong way, especially for a tweet out there to say that men are finally allowed into the room at about 2:30, and then they have 30 minutes before quiet quiet time where they're not even allowed to talk and actually get the same advice that other people were. It seems like a complete rebound. If there being actions that actually, of course, pushed away females or kind of closed them out of anything, this is probably not the best response to close out males. And again, I guess Twitter does take these things a bit too far, and Riot also backed these claims up. They actually backed up all of their PAX West panels as well. I'm not really sure how to comment about this. I understand what they're trying to do, and I hope it does help, but it does seem, especially in a world where Twitter does reign supreme, there are some definitely negative comments out there who probably took it the wrong way, and again, I can understand why that was. So what do you guys think about that? A Riot PAX West panel excluded men for a set amount of time, then let them in before quiet time. It's debatable what's going on right now. I hope this kind of stuff can stop. It just seems like a bit too dramatic. And also, of course, in very big Overwatch news, you guys are very well aware of this. I myself have never been a part of an esports scene that's seen such a huge roster shuffle, of course, after Overwatch League season just ended there very shortly. But in CSGO, we never see this after majors. In this succinct fashion, alongside that, Dota 2 after the international, we don't see this many changes. It's been absolutely insane to actually cover this over the past 5 days. So we're going to try and overview for all of you the changes that have happened so far. We might have missed a few, so feel free to leave a comment down below what you guys think about this. But again, I've never been a part of an esports scene who's seen such drastic changes, and they will likely continue because a lot of these changes we've seen over the past 5 days have been droppings and not acquiring. So we're going to see as well a lot of additions, a lot of trades going on in these next few weeks, and I cannot wait to announce those. So first of all, I'm going to cover probably what's oldest first. A few of these will be a bit old. Most notably though, London Spitfire have acquired a brand new coach with no experience in Overwatch coaching. He actually comes from the StarCraft scene and over 10 plus years of professional coaching, but none of which in the Overwatch scene. So very curious pickup here by the former champions themselves, and that will be London Spitfire acquiring 815 in place of Chang. If you guys were here about, I think it was a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, it will be Chang who left that roster, and he'll be joining Seoul Dynasty. We're going to talk about in a bit here Seoul Dynasty making quite a few changes, so expect maybe some improvement coming for this team. They have added Chang as their assistant coach. Now, for first roster changes news out there, it comes to no surprise as the 0-40 team Shanghai Dragons makes the largest change of anyone, only keeping 3 of their players, and that will be Dia, Gaguri, and Fearless. And even to a lot of surprise out there as well, ADO was also kicked from that, so kind of a big surprise. But Seoul, like I said before, Seoul actually making some minor changes here alongside their assistant coach being Chang now. It's going to be them releasing Miro, Guido, and also Wakid, and alongside that NYXL also making changes. They released Wizard from the coaching role, and also Janice was kind of a big surprise to the team. So we're going to see where all these big players go, and we're not even a third of the way done. But also kind of funny news out there, Wizard did take to Twitter, say he was looking for a team, and within about 24 hours he is no longer looking for a team. We're going to find out very shortly here who he did sign for. Of course, formerly of NYXL, he definitely had some offers on the table, and it seems he has taken one of those offers. But also saw the Outlaws release FCT, so no surprise there, I guess you could say. But it's kind of some curious things coming from Houston Outlaws, and we've seen a few teams actually kind of follow this pattern there, leaving teams on the roster, or at least a part of the organization, which is kind of cool to see. You know, these teams are not exactly, I guess, with them paying $30 to $35 million for an Overwatch League spot, they would never have to keep these guys on their roster because it can be kind of a, I guess you could say, a financial burden. But Houston Outlaws being the first to showcase this, it will be Clockwork now taking over a non-player role, which I have never in my time actually heard about this, and it's very curious as well because Mendo, another player they've released, will now take the content creator role. So I'm not really sure how this non-player role fits in. Will it be content creation because him and Mendo had very different announcements? So we'll see what this non-player role really means for the Houston Outlaws as they release 3 players there. We also had Philadelphia Fusion release 3 of their players with Shadow, Joe Meister, and also Dayfly, and we are now going to see apparently EQO take over for Shadow. I don't know what he showed there that apparently he is better. I think it's a topic of many debate out there who is going to be the better DPS guy there. But on top of that as well, we also have Dallas Fuel announcing they're going to resign 7 of their roster. You guys can read out who they're going to sign on screen for all of you. Coco will go to assistant coach. Of course, Siegel did retire, and unfortunately for all you Chipsy fans out there, it will be him now gone and off that roster. But also, very lastly, for all of you LA Gladiator fans out there, they also have released Remix alongside that Asher and Silk Thread, and they make sure to tell us, guys, once a Gladiator, always a Gladiator, until now when you're no longer a Gladiator. So that's always kind of a cheesy thing to run into when teams do that kind of stuff. But some big changes coming, and of course, I think a majority of these have not been signings, but actually departures from these teams. So expect in the next week or two some crazy packed episodes here of us announcing player roster assignments and trades and what might not be. So Overwatch news, guys, going to be packed these next few weeks. Expect that to also come. And also this Friday as well, we do have, of course, the LA qualifier for the Overwatch League World Cup. So watch out for that, guys. Team Canada, XQC joining together even after XQC was banned from League of Legends last week. It seems he is now fully prepared to play for Team Canada. We'll see how they do this weekend. And also, very lastly, in Rocket League news out there, of course, Rocket Pass does go live today. I'm going to be very curious to see how this Rocket Pass does do. It's very similar to things like Fortnite out there having their Battle Pass, as well as a bit similar to Dota 2, but not so much wise. It will be 70 tiers to start. You can actually you can progress past that 70 tiers if you buy Premium. For now, Premium will be 10 keys or $9.99. And also, if you guys are curious, of course, throughout all those items, 29 of those tiers will be free to access. I believe, though, in those first 29 tiers, only 1 to 2 keys can actually be earned back, but still some free keys for all you guys out there who don't actually want to pay the $10 or the 10 keys for this. On top of that, if you do get the Premium and actually level up all the way to tier 70, you have the chance to actually earn back 6 of those keys, so about $6 worth. So it's really up in the air. The big question is, will those other 64 tiers be worth the additional $4 you will not earn back? I think in Fortnite, actually, for their Battle Pass, you can actually earn back every single V-Buck you pay for that, so that being the 1,000 V-Bucks or the $10. I believe you can earn back almost all of that, definitely more than 600 of those 1,000 V-Bucks for your money's worth. So will it be worth it? We're going to find out here, guys, and I'm sure some changes will be made in the future. So let me know if you guys do actually buy Rocket Pass and how it is. For now, I will not be purchasing it myself. I want to see how it plays out, though. The freemium version is also a great thing as well. Gives your players a chance to unlock those cosmetics, those untradables, as well as 1 key, I believe, for free. So also, very lastly, expect some RLRS and it's also RLCS news coming in soon, guys. Of course, RLCS Season 6 does start this Friday, and the schedule has officially been released for that. So I cannot wait to see which teams on top of that for RLRS actually manage to qualify for some of those spots for next season of RLCS, guys. And who knows what the prize pool will be next season, but let's focus on this season. We have now, in the next month or so, guys, some big RLCS matches going into it, and I think for now everyone is probably, are we in agreement that Cloud9 is looking very strong? So we'll see how they do in those early matches, but I cannot wait for that season to start, and that does start this Friday, guys, so look out for that. But as always, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Esports News. If we missed anything, feel free to comment down below. I hope you guys all enjoy this very, very packed episode, and Friday will probably be no less news. So we're going to see you guys then, and as always, my name is Jake. I'll see you then.